Can't see anything wrong in the corner there.
Heyo guys, Ruby of Blue here, and welcome to another commission for what should I call you, by the way?
Avery,
Avery?
Avogadro, Avian British.
Alright, gotcha. I'm doing another
Nice.
comic commission on Civilization 6 for Avery here. I've done one for him before. And we have Crosby and Extreme here, but I think Extreme is away right now, but Crosby's here, I think.
Nope, I am here.
Hello.
Now, he's streaming a game at the same time right now, but I'm getting some weird error on Twitch that says media playback aborted, and it just goes to black screen. I linked his stream in the chat, so if any of you could visit his channel for me on Twitch and see if you're getting the same black screen error that I am right now, that'll help a lot.
Yeah, because for some reason on my end, on Twitch, it's not coming up with any issues, as far as I can tell. But I can see now, looking at the stream notes live, that yeah, you are getting a weird black screen sometimes. I'm not entirely sure why. So yes, I've been playing some Civilization 6 along with the stream here. And I suppose anyone has any ideas who I should play as.
I have confirmed Civilization 6 on my screen. It is not black for moi.
So is this going to be another comic page?
Yes.
Yes, it's another comic page.
5 panels.
Actually, I'll probably set up as a random leader. All up as random. Oh, I hate this civilization. Well, I think I am in a chat with 3 people from this civilization, so yeah.
Yeah, your stream does not seem to be agreeing with me today.
Yeah, just...
Let's see. I'm just gonna watch it for a sec. No, Extreme Lucario. I will not.
Why does Extreme Lucario so hardly want you to draw a circle with aura sensors?
What aura sensors?
The Lucario dreadlock things.
I wonder if Lucario can use his dreadlocks to glide like Knuckles.
Well, they could fly anyway, so probably.
No, they can't. They can just jump.
Lucario can't fly, silly.
Oh, of course they can. Because they have a steel type ability called Magnet Rise sometimes.
Sometimes.
Absolutely, sometimes.
Whenever they feel like it.
So is everyone currently in the voice chat American?
Yes.
I believe so.
Except for you.
Okay, so I can't complain about playing as America in this game, can I?
No, you absolutely can, because America sucks. So
Yes.
there you go.
Thank you. So yeah, whenever I sort of like feel bad about America, it's just in Civilization, because in every Civilization game, America is rubbish. In Civilization, it's not real life. Although maybe in real life, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe a little bit.
The music, on the other hand, this is really cool. It's called Hard Times Come No More or something. So what time is it over in America?
For me,
You guys.
Central, it's 11 past 11. It's 1111.
For me, it's currently 4:11.
So
in the afternoon.
How much time do we have to stream today, according to your schedule?
Well, I will be having dinner at some point, but that doesn't last long. So I'm having a Thai curry today, which is nice. My dad's making it. Anyhow, I don't really have any commitments this evening other than watching the Mexican Grand Prix Formula One race, which for me, because I'm not paying to watch it on Sky, I'm going to be watching it on Freeview, which doesn't start until 10:45 in the evening. So in other words, I have 4, 5, 6, 7 hours.
All right.
Plenty of time.
I think that'll be plenty of time to either sketch or both line this commission. Adam, when is the Pokémon Man Love Hurts Ep4 coming out? Bruh, you saving your last two commission or stream appearances for Manifest Heart streams? Man Love Hurts. Yep, add that to the list, boys.
Is Man of Fact Heat still the best?
Yes.
So do either of you guys play Civilization? Out of interest.
I do not, but it does look interesting.
No.
I bet XtremeTuber does.
What do I do? What?
Do you play Civilization?
I've played Civilization 4 in the past. I refuse to play Civilization 6
Why is that?
because of how dumbed down it is.
Why is it dumbed down?
He does this with
because the people say that Civilization 6 looks very dumbed down, and they can never give us a reason other than it looks dumbed down.
He does this with Corbin all the time with Battlefront.
I actually give Corbin reasons why Battlefront is dumbed down, though. But it's also, in some ways, upgraded. Which is the same case for Civilization 6.
How?
In general, though, it's because of the way they've handled the game mechanics. And I don't have the exact list right now. I occasionally make lists like these, but it's the same thing that happened with Hearts of Iron 4 versus Hearts of Iron 3. The way that managing your civilization is, there's more things to do in general in Civilization 6, but the depth at which they are allowing you to do things has been severely reduced. And not to mention the fact that it does have to be more accessible because of how many platforms Civilization 6 is on now, as opposed to the other Civilization games.
It's on 3, which is Windows, Apple. No, it's on Windows, Mac, and Linux, which are all PC platforms.
Yeah.
It's not like it's on like Xbox or PlayStation or anything, which means it will have to be completely different.
Not yet, anyway, but that is something that they are going to be doing. Civilization
Can I
6.
interject for a sec? I have to ask Avery something.
Yeah.
Yes, you can.
Can you describe to me in panels 3 and 4, where is the camera supposed to be relative to the characters?
Right. Let me just bring up that document again.
Like what kind of shot?
I need to have one panel that's larger than all the rest since there are 5.
Well, why is it not open now? This item's been moved. Where has it gone? Okay. Okay, so in the first panel, we have Nicholas giving a short tour of the Stave Church. Then we can have panel 2 being a small one, I suppose. 3, I think it will have to be either panel 1 or panel 3 will have to be a larger one. So the way I sort of see panel 2 is it's looking down from like the top, like at the corner of the Stave Church interior, looking at the characters. Number 2 could be Nicholas behind Nicholas's head, looking up at the ceiling. Panel 3 will be looking up at the ceiling again, but the ceiling is being lifted off the roof, if that makes any sense. And then 4 and 5 will be small.
So
I think panel 3 would be the large one. So it'd be 2 small squares. 3 would be the large one in the middle, and then you have 4 and 5, which are small squares.
okay, where is the camera located in panel 3?
It would be behind Nicholas's head, on the ground, looking up at the ceiling, which has been lifted off.
So the same camera angle as panel 2?
Yes, pretty much.
Okay, if Robin is on top of the ceiling and we're looking down from Nicholas's perspective, then we're not going to be able to see Robin.
No, she'd be. So if you like move the ceiling across a bit, so there's like a gap where you're looking up and you can see actually, no, if you sort of like move the ceiling halfway off the top of the building, Robin will be standing on the edge. If that makes any sense.
All right, I get you. And then panel 4, where is the camera located?
That'd be like a long distance shot. Well, it could even be like a long distance shot with almost like a 2D picture of Stave Church, and then the helicopter flying away, or it could be shown from like the front of the helicopter looking at her. If that makes any sense. At her standing on the roof with the Stave Church in the distance. Does that make any sense?
Yeah. And then is panel 5 like a landscape shot of the entire area or just the panel?
Oh, it's just
just the window.
The window. Yeah.
Is there anything behind the window?
No. It's just like the window in the corner. So it doesn't have to be that big. Just the text just needs to be substituted for what I wrote.
Okay, so the panel 1, since that's a small one, what is the panel 1's composition supposed to be?
What do you mean by composition?
I had in mind just like a neutral camera shot with the statue off to the right, Nicholas in front of it, and Taurus off to the left of the shot.
Yeah, I guess, but you said, what do you mean by statue?
The Michelangelo?
Oh, it's not a statue. I think it's literally a turtle character with the beard and the garb that Michelangelo wore in his paintings. Yeah, it's a good picture.
Oh, okay.
So it's
He's gesturing at the ceiling.
Who's gesturing at the ceiling? No. Nicholas is gesturing at the ceiling. No, Nicholas. So the characters in the scene are Nicholas, Michelangelo, and then a group of tourists. Nicholas is gesturing at Michelangelo to say he has created this wonderful piece of artwork, which we call the Sistine Chapel ceiling, which is on the ceiling of this stave church. So he's gesturing at Michelangelo.
Okay, and is panel 1 showing the ceiling?
No, we don't see the ceiling until panel 2 or 3.
Alright, and
Otherwise, you don't get all the characters in it.
okay, so where do you think the camera is located, and where's the camera located in panel 1?
In panel 1, it's top corner of the stave church interior, looking down.
Okay, so an establishing shot.
Yeah. Is that everything?
Since panel 2 and 3 are basically from the same camera angle, I'm wondering if they might look a bit too repetitive to each other.
We could do
Especially since one is much larger than the other.
We could do panel 2 then, like on the same plane as the walls of the stave church. So it's almost at eye level of Nicholas looking up at the ceiling.
Yeah, okay. And they're just wearing the same things that they had in the last commission, right?
Yeah. So dressed up as Harold, Hadralda, and Jadwiga.
Okay, I think I got all the information I need. Hello, Mystical GMA. That is not Violet. That is the Commissioner, Avery.
Hello. I'm at Gilgamesh.
I'm loving this low latency, the chat response, and my response is so fast now. I hope you guys aren't experiencing too much buffering as a result, though.
So, Extreme, you were talking about how sort of Civ 6 is apparently done down.
Yes. There were a few other things as well that also and not included in regards to why I wouldn't get Civ 6. And it started with Civ 5, unfortunately.
I think the only reason why you should not consider getting Civ 6 right now is Civ 6 is almost exactly like Civ 5. There are a few new features. So Firaxis's policy is having 33% of old stuff, 33% of new stuff, and 33% of redesigned stuff. And you can see that the philosophy has worked really well on this. So you have quite a lot of the same. There's a lot of new stuff in terms of districts and sort of placements on the map and whatnot, and also the civilization abilities that themselves they've been reimagined with new mechanics that they couldn't have before. And of course, they've redesigned some stuff. For instance, the religion has been redesigned, tourism has been redesigned, and some units, sort of mechanics, have also been redesigned as well. In the case of like Japan and Samurai. So, Civilization 6 is, for me, it's a really, really good game, and it's a good step in the right direction, ready for the expansions to come along. So the big issue that happened with Civ 4 and Civ 5, no, it's Civ 4 and Civ 5, is the base games stripped back all of the features, and you had a pure empire building game. And then the expansions brought along religion and trade, and in the case of 5, the second expansion then brought along tourism and a cultural victory and whatnot. In the case of Civ 6, it's a lot more complete in the base game. So you already have tourism, religion, spies, and espionage and whatnot. The only thing that Civ 6 is actually lacking compared to Civ 5 is the late game diplomacy options in the form of the World Congress, which they have said that in the first expansion they will reintroduce the World Congress and other sort of late game diplomacy options. So once you get the first expansion, Civ 6 will be on par with Civ 5 again, if it's not already, because you already have the new inclusions of districts and wonder placement and so on. So when people complain saying, oh, the game's been sort of like dumbed down and the game is not as good as 5 and so on, it's all up for interpretation because people just don't like change, really. My only 2 gripes with this game currently are, yes, there's no World Congress, and there aren't as many civilizations in here. So there's 27 leaders now, but in Civ 5 you had 43, but that had 2 expansions and 5 DLCs or something. This has currently got 6 DLCs, 7 if you count the Aztecs, and hasn't had any expansions yet. So this is already doing much better than the previous game.
All right.
When you say he's standing in between the stave church, standing between the pews, does that are those the seats?
Yes. So they're the seats in a church.
Okay. I'm gonna tune out of this conversation if I'm not saying anything. That's why, because I need to focus.
Oh.
Yep, that's understandable,
okay.
Ruby.
Well, Ruby, just before you sort of mute yourself or whatnot, guess who we found on Civ 6 on the stream? If you've got the stream open.
I do not anymore. Who?
Did you find
that's Harald. That's the, that's the costume that Nicholas is wearing.
Oh, okay.
Haralda of Norway.
All right.
Put Harold and Jadviga in this.
I am glad to hear, and I am not going to be all simply to disagree. I am glad to hear that there are more civilizations at the start in the base game. But I'm also not sure. It's been so long since I've played them that I don't remember what Civ 3 and Civ 2 had in terms of civilizations at the start. So I don't really have that as a fair comparison right now. But I'm glad to hear that as compared to 5, it does have more starting civilizations that aren't locked behind expansions and DLC.
Yeah, so I think
I'd call it a mixed review. Not positive, but not too negative either.
Well, I know for a fact at the moment that every iteration of Civ has had more civilizations than the previous one. So in terms of the base game, so I've got all of the DLCs here, and that totals to 27 leaders, but that's 26 civilizations because one civilization has 2 leaders, which is Greece. And Greece, you could either have Gorgo of Sparta, or you can have Pericles of Athens, which I think is a nice feature, and hopefully they will.
Wait. Hercules is a leader in
Pericles.
Yes, which is his Greek name, and his Roman name is Hercules.
I thought Pericles and Hercules were 2 separate people.
Nope, they are the exact same person. So I am surprised. That is interesting. Of course,
I don't know much about
version that is then, Disneyed, but still.
Yeah,
interesting.
The only bit of sort of Athenian culture that I know really is, well, I don't think I even actually watched the Hercules Disney movie, but I've seen in clips that Pericles and Hercules are 2 completely different people. So I just presume they were completely different people, really.
Well, it's Greek mythology, when wished with Roman mythology, can be confusing. For instance, Neptune is also Poseidon, who is similar
Oh, I know
to
that.
Triton from uh, Little Mermaid, actually. And if you're going by what their names are in the various mythologies, that means that technically Ariel and Hercules are related.
Hmm. Anyhow, so as I was saying, with Civ 5, I can't remember the exact number, but I think it was something like 24 civilization. I think it was actually 26. No, 20. No, I think there was 25 civilizations in Civ 5. In Civ
Also, good
6, there
lord.
was 26 leaders, but 25 civilizations. But then you also got the Aztecs as well for free.
I went back to Civ 5 Steam page, and there's $119 worth of DLC for that game.
Yeah,
I hope
that's
Civ 6 doesn't get up to that.
it. Probably would. But the only ones you need are base game, the first expansion, which is called Gods and Kings, and then the second expansion, which is Brave New World. All of the other DLCs are civilization packs, which you don't necessarily need. But if you want to play as those civilizations, then you should get them. And in the case of Civ 6, they're doing the same thing again. But if you're playing a multiplayer game with someone else and that person has Poland, which is the DLC, but you don't have Poland, then you can still play a game where they could play as Poland, but you can't. But it's still there and possible to play as. So if you don't want to play as a civilization, then you don't need to. And barbarians are going to ransack Washington.
Also, I'd like your opinion on the UI changes. Do you believe they are improved, or whatever the opposite of improved is?
Unimproved.
Inferior.
Well, that's not necessarily the opposite, the direct opposite. I can't think right now. I'm so tired. Because I got half woken up by the call.
I think in terms of like the UI for this game, it's certainly an improvement. Everything is a lot clearer and easier to understand. So I can clearly tell that this is a marsh. I can clearly tell this is a hill with sheep on it. I can tell this is a hill. I can tell that's stone. I can tell that's stone on a hill. It also helps the fact that I've got yield icons on as well. But with yield icons off, you can tell what everything is still, or at least I can. In terms of UI, everything is sort of nice and neatly hidden away. If you don't want that open, you can hide it, and you can still see the information you need to see. Down here, you've got the map, which can be hidden away. Everything is nice and tucked away, so you don't need to look at things that you don't want to see. And also, you have pins as well, which is cool. So, like say, I want to build my second city here, and then I can sort of like remember later on, oh, where do I want to build my city? Oh, I want to build it here. So you can remember that, and also you can share this. If it's multiplayer, you can also have the option to share it with other players, where it's specifically one other player or everyone. Then it's very helpful. So I love the pins. So you have different map modes, like continent map modes, religion map modes. But there's no religion at the moment, so you won't be able to see anything. Got appeal, which assists some civilizations like Australia and whatnot, but also affect housing and tourism. Settler as well, so you can see how close to cities you can settle and where the best places to settle are. Government, which no one uses. Political, which again no one uses, and then you've got tourism, which no tourism at the moment, so you can't see anything.
Also, there's one more concern that I have to ask you about, seeing as how this is Firaxis we're dealing with here.
Mm-hmm.
Do you at any point believe that they will experiment with the dreaded dun 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 loot boxes?
Loot boxes? What do you mean by loot boxes? Do you mean like microtransactions where you can buy small little skin packs and so on?
Essentially that, yes. In a
No.
game like this, I can see how that will be so profitable that it would be
Really?
irresistible.
Really?
Yeah.
How can you see that they? Well, one, I can't see how they will implement it, especially with what they've done in patches so far. I can't see them ever doing like the smallest microtransactions they would do will be the civilization and scenario pack DLCs, which they've done so far. But they will never go like smaller transactions than that.
Like, I can give you some examples. It's not that far-fetched once you think about the way the mechanics work.
Go on then.
And actually, they've done this on their mobile games before.
Yeah, but that's a mobile game.
Yeah, well, that's what we said about loot boxes for other things. Anyway, it's things like if you're not able to, if you started in an unideal area, well, but I don't exactly know how the startup works in this game either. But if you started in an unideal area, things like acquiring food, the amount of wood that you get from the forest near you, if you don't have any forest, things like that, I can picture that sort of being at the level of which they'd be able to do that.
So you're saying that if you start in a bad area, then you can buy yourself a better area.
Well, not necessarily that, but you can essentially buy the resources that would be.
Well, no, they won't. They will never ever do that in this game. Do you know why?
Well, I
Because if
don't.
I hit escape and I go to restart, then it just generates me a new map, and I can continue selecting restart until I end up on a map that I like.
Yes, you might be able to do that, but that is not the mentality that causes people to use the loot box features.
Well, okay. No one's actually created it yet, and in fact, we think that the next DLC that they're going to release, and it's going to be a free DLC. This next one is going to be a world map maker, and you'll be able to edit the map, and you'll be able to create new maps and your own maps, and so you could recreate, I know, San Andreas or recreate the Lord of the Rings world, but I can't remember the name of because I never watched Lord of the Rings. And so on. You'll be able to edit and make your own maps. So it will just make the idea of paying for those things redundant. So Firaxis will never do that in this game.
Well, that would make things redundant, but there's still things like experience with units.
Not no. They definitely will not sort of add like little loot boxes or anything for experience with the units.
I'm not saying they would. I'm saying that it's a possibility. We don't know the direction that things are going.
It's not a possibility because some civilizations rely on bonuses they already get to make them worth playing. For instance, Nubia, pardon the pun, it's the noob civilization based on southern Sudan. One of its core abilities gets you better experience for ranged units. So with that in mind, they won't create a microtransaction sort of thing which allows you to boost experience.
I don't think you're understanding how these companies work necessarily, because that is the exact type of scenario, like individual civilization trait bonuses. That's the exact type of thing that would be the perfect thing for them to lock behind loot boxes, which is what they did
But
with those other games.
what I've not played a single. Actually, no. What was the last mobile game they made? That was Civilization
No,
Revolution 2.
not their mobile games, but other companies that have had successful models that started out similarly, where they had individual race trait bonuses. they locked them behind a paywall after that point.
No, they won't do that. Like I said, like
I'm
Nubia, when
hoping
they had
they don't do it. I'm wishing they don't do it, but I'm also preparing for the possibility, is what I'm saying.
well with like I said, I mentioned Nubia already, and Nubia is a DLC civilization, which in fact most people sort of say, well, the best civilizations and the most overpowered, I disagree, civilizations are the DLC civilizations, and that's as far as you're going to get with like the nitty gritty picking up sort of small little microtransaction sort of things. Um, they're not going to do what you think they're going to do. especially with what they've done so far in the patches. So the only sort of things I could ever think that they would ever incorporate loot boxes or things like that would be for small graphical updates. For instance, things like animations on deserts and tundra of the snow and sand moving, and aurora borealis and whatnot. But they've already incorporated that into the patches, so all of the free updates. With that in mind, they're not going to release. I'm having a deja vu moment here. They're not going to release small little loot box like feature updates when they've already proven that they're more interested in giving out free updates for things which aren't necessarily important or necessary. So yes, 2K, which is their parent company, is one of the most controversial game companies currently around. Firaxis are more interested in making a good game rather than one that makes them lots of money.
Well, I will do what I do with games like this as well. I will give them 2 years after release, which I don't exactly remember when Civ 6 was released. I think it was 2016.
Civ. Oh yeah, Civ 6 was 2016. I thought you meant Civ 5. Civ 5 was like 2005. Oh yeah, Civ 6 that was 2016, which is 11 years after Civ 5. Yeah.
I will give them 2 years, and then I will take another look. And if there are things that I like, I will give the demo a try, because that is one thing that I do like about Civ games, is that they still do offer you demos.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
But how am I supposed to know what football they're talking about? Is it the American football or the rest of the world football?
Oh, I like it when you said the rest of the world football. Why are you talking about football?
Because Mystical GMA said go into the football game, and I don't know if Mystical GMA is from the United States or not, where you throw around a brown thing instead of
Yeah.
using your feet for the ball.
Yeah, rugby football, also known as American football. Actually, no, rugby football and American football are two completely different things, but they both derive from rugby football. And the reason why the rest of the world calls it football and America doesn't is because America already shortened association football to soccer. So then they were forced to then rename, well, not rename, but shorten rugby football to football.
That is a reason that I have never ever known in my entire life. Now I do.
Yeah, so there's two sports. You've got rugby football and association football. America shortened it, shortened rugby football to football and association football to soccer, and the rest of the world shortened them the other way around. So rugby football became rugby, and association football just became football.
So contradictory and defiant, the United States.
just like France, which needs their own name for everything. Like when they joined NATO, they had to rename it to OTAN or something. So that's why whenever you see modern NATO logos, it says NATO and then NATO backwards, because the French are insistent it has to have the French name. Otherwise, they won't join NATO.
Be right back.
Okay, so Avery, can you describe to me what Michelangelo is supposed to look like?
Turtle. But I also linked in our group chat a portrait. I think it's a self-portrait of Michelangelo.
Is the turtle supposed to have a beard?
Yes.
Hair?
So, yep. So like the beard, the curly hair,
Body type?
same body type. Yep. Maybe like a larger back to sort of suggest the shell.
Okay.
So yeah, it's supposed to be like you already know a Michelangelo, which is a turtle, but this is a more realistic version of a Michelangelo turtle.
So this Michelangelo self-portrait here, the one that I'm seeing in the chat, that
Yeah.
is the Renaissance painter, yes?
Yes.
I did not know that that's what his self-portrait looked like.
I think that's a self-portrait. I could be wrong, but it is a portrait of Michelangelo. If you Google Michelangelo Renaissance artist on Google, then you'll see quite a few images of him in the same like attire and facial hair and whatnot.
Also, why do we call it the Renaissance and not the Italian Renaissance?
We call it the Renaissance or Renaissance because the Western world doesn't want to acknowledge that there were other Renaissance. So the first like recorded Renaissance was actually the one in India, or sometimes called the Golden Age of India, and that was when Chumagambra,
Yeah,
and
I know who you're talking about. Don't try to pronounce
that. Created like a Golden Age of India where they had hymns and mantras and text, and like exploded in terms of population growth and sciences. And then we had a Dark Age in which the Crusades happened. Oh no. So after the Indian Renaissance, there was the Greek and the Roman and the Egyptian Renaissance. They then died down, and we had a period of Crusades, which were considered the Dark Ages, in which it was the Dark Ages for the Western world, but for India, China, and Arabia, it was a golden age. So it was the Eastern Renaissance. And then after that, sort of finished and blew over. Then you had the Italian Renaissance, which is the only one people want to remember because it's the only one that the modern Western world was part of. So the others were ignored from history because of Westernization.
That is Sado.
Yeah, it's the same with everything, really. If it wasn't invented in the West or hadn't, if it doesn't have anything to do with the West, then it's generally ignored in Western culture.
Oh god, the chat is memeing right now. Help. Adam started the meme train, Ruby. I refuse to go along for the ride. I will not partake.
Let me figure out where I'm going to place a settler.
Also, I will tell you the nightmare of every single Civilization player, and it starts with the letter B, and I'm sure you know exactly what that is.
I thought you were going to say the letter G, and I was going to say Gandhi.
No, it's barbarians.
Oh yeah, barbarians, they're annoying. Oh yeah, and it's also doubly annoying. So like I said about the civilization bonuses. Oh, and the way, if you didn't know already, Greece, I said before, Greece has two leaders, and that's because so a civilization are made of new parts. So every civilization has a unique unit and has a unique building, tile improvement, or district. In the case of America, we have the P-51 Mustang and a film studio. Along with those, you have a civilization ability, so it's based upon the civilization as a whole, and then you also have a leader ability. So in this case, the civilization ability is founding fathers, which means the governments are better. And then you have Roosevelt's Colorary. I've never actually read that before, but it allows you to get a second unique unit, which is the Rough Rider, because he was a Rough Rider. And also units on his continent that his capital's on get bonus combat strength, which is very annoying in this circumstance because this is the continent. My capital's on the purple one, so if all my units fight in the purple continent, they will get +5 combat strength. Because they're 2 tiles south of my capital, they don't do as much damage. So they do the same damage as any other civilization, but I want my cities all up here and defend them up here, not down here. So that's why fighting these barbarians are a bit more annoying, because I could be fighting them better. Oh, I found a natural wonder. Not found a natural wonder yet. Someone's asking if Gandhi is a barbarian. Gandhi kind of. Well, Gandhi was like a rebel. He was annoying. It's very controversial. Leader of a peaceful revolution. Well, he led the peaceful part of the revolution, but he did get other people to be very not peaceful. And it's also because of Gandhi and his not so peaceful revolutions that meant the partition of India was a bit rushed and wasn't as good as it should have been. Which is also why India is in such a state today. So that's my gripe about Gandhi. I have to build a city down here somewhere. Get up the tiles before Stockholm expands too much. Right. City planning. So I want a city down here somewhere. Well, I like to focus on the coast. So if I put a city there, then it covers that area and gets those resources. Covers there. So I've got a city here, looks like. So I'm going to have a lot of cities in a desert, which is going to be annoying. Everyone's so quiet.
Yep.
That's a big lake. Oh, just notice this army. That's a good city state. I like that one. Lets me build tile improvements on here. In the desert. don't like the look of this walk card. Do we have any iron? Yeah. One plot of iron. That's annoying. Did that move?
No, no, Extreme Lucario. The heaviest pain in the world is stepping on a goddamn Lego. You say hitting your toe on a table is the greatest pain? No. You need to do a walk over Legos. Like, you know how they do the
What?
burning coal walk? Try doing that with a bunch of Legos in that pit.
Why do you call them Legos? As if. Yes! I need to go for dinner now. But why do you call them Legos and not
Because
just Lego? Because Lego's already plural.
no, Lego is not already plural.
It is.
And simply
Game.
because they refuse to let go of each other. So you
Oh.
call them Legos.
Yes! It's already plural, so you shouldn't really say Legos. I've never understood why people call them Legos. Cat on there. Great. Okay, I'm going to be a few minutes, so I'll be back in a moment. If that's okay, Ruby. I think Ruby's disappeared. If he comes back, then just let him know that I will be a couple of minutes.
Alrighty. He's in hyper focus mode, I assume.
Maybe. Speak to you in a moment.
So, chat, how have you been today?
Hello.
Welcome back, I think.
Hello.
No, over here. Over here. Welcome back, I think.
Hello.
Well, I think I may have accidentally paused the stream.
You.
Yep, Yep, I thought so. Yep, it crashed. So I'm gonna reload the stream. Nope. Well, then that was a perfectly timed coincidence, really, because my stream actually did crash. So, because I didn't see the chat scrolling on my end, and that once I refreshed, now I do see the chat scrolling. So if there's a retro Kraken, is there a modern Kraken in the chat?
Pantheon. What Pantheon should I go for? Oh, I don't know one. Desert folklore.
Supersonic Girl, Song Gal, Supersonic Song Gal. There we go. That's a perfect hybrid.
What?
I was just combining names of people in the chat together.
Okay.
So, what types of video games do you like to play?
Civilization.
So you like civilization type games?
No, I just like Civilization.
The only game you like is Civilization? Gasp.
If I could have, if I only had to choose one game, and I had to live off that game for the rest of my life, it would be Civilization. Other games I play would be Pokemon. I haven't played Pokemon in ages. Well, when I say ages, I mean I since Sun and Moon's release, I've not actually gone back to Sun and Moon to sort of like complete anything because, well, there wasn't actually anything to complete. I got all of the Pokemon. I got all of the Ultra Beasts. I found the battle tree. Did a few goes at the battle tree. Gave up because it's impossible. And yeah, just left it. I didn't even retrain any of my Pokemon because I've already got Pokemon that I just ported over, and that was my team for like competitive play. Although I'm considering the dragon and fighting type, maybe. Other than that, I like XCOM. I did play a game called Motorsport Manager a lot, which is like Formula One, but you're the manager of a team. I love Formula One. But I'm really bad at the racing games, so the managing aspect is much better for me.
Well, I can't say I could picture myself being that limited to that game, but I can admit that there is a game I do like games like that though. I have over 500 hours in Europa Universalis 4, things like that, and in Empire Total War I have over 800 hours. So I do like real-time strategy games.
But you were moaning earlier about sort of like loads of DLCs and loot boxes and so on. But
Oh,
Europa
EU4 has the
Universalis is
worst case with Paradox Interactive. Oh my god, their DLC practices suck.
See, I was having, I can't remember who I was having an argument with before. Yesterday. It was yesterday. Yeah, it was yesterday. Was it yesterday or was it the day before? I think it was the day before. But they were talking about a game called Endless Legend. And I used to play Endless Legend a fair bit, which is just like Civilization, but it's fantasy. They have some different like battle mechanics where you sort of suggest where your units go, and then they will just automate and so on, which I found a bit annoying. But there was many good things about the game. But just like a Paradox game, it had so many DLC. Well, not so many DLCs, but it had so many DLCs which brought new mechanics. And I'm one of those people, because I love Civ 5 so much. I prefer the idea of having expansions bring the mechanics and the DLCs just to bring additional character content or something. So the fact that Endless Legend and Paradox games all seem to sort of bring new mechanics in these tiny little DLCs just annoys me, because that is clearly a money grab in my mind.
Oh, no question. That's why Paradox's latest games are flooded with the same reviews talking about how Paradox is basically putting those mechanics in quote unquote extensions. Those aren't really extensions though.
They're expansions, but they're just too small. It's like a
Hold on a second.
mechanic
I'm sorry to
DLC.
interrupt you. I see Nightwolf. I haven't seen Nightwolf in a long time. Hello, Nightwolf.
I've seen him
Champion
around.
commentator.
I just haven't been able to catch Nightwolf.
Is someone watching my stream at the moment? Can someone see my stream? Can someone see why I'm very annoyed?
I cannot.
Okay, so Gilgamesh of Samaria has just forward settled one of their cities right next to my capital.
What is the latest technological age in Civ 5 and Civ 6?
What do you mean the latest technological
Like,
age?
can you go just to the edge of going into space, like, but not actually going into space?
Oh, well, it goes all the way up to the information era, which is the current era we're in real life. So it doesn't go past the present day. The only exception is the science victory. So previously, in previous games, you would, for science victory, build spaceship parts in order to go to Alpha Centauri. In this case, you are building 3 spaceship parts in order to put a colony on Mars. So it's a bit closer to home and a bit more realistic, and also more closer to the present day. So in this case, there isn't any sort of like futuristic stuff like XCOM squads and giant death robots. The most advanced sort of things you get here are modern armor, missile cruisers, mobile SAMs, mechanized infantry, nuclear submarines, and so on.
Hey, Avery, can you give me a reference for the roof?
Oh, okay.
And also, can you describe the sort of harness the Robin is wearing?
It's just like, I don't know. It's just like something you would see someone wearing when they're trying to do rock climbing or something. It's just like a general harness. It doesn't have to be that detailed, as long as you can see that she's attached to the helicopter cable thing to not fall off.
It's a separate cable from the one that's grabbing the roof, right?
It can be. It's probably the best, yeah.
What?
Yes, it's a separate cable.
Okay.
So yeah, the reason why I've commissioned this comic is because it's a popular joke that they treat the Sistine Chapel ceiling as like a work of art, like a normal portrait or something that you're hanging up in a gallery, like an actual like painting in a frame that you could pick up and move. And because of that, you can steal it, like just like picking it up and taking it away in a great work heist. So that's where this joke comes in, that you can. The only way that you would steal the Sistine Chapel ceiling painting is if you were to, I don't know, cut the roof off of the building it's painted on, lift it out with a helicopter and take it away.
I imagine that would require a lot of effort.
Mm-hmm.
Well, since this is all arrows, wouldn't that also be possible via using Da Vinci's flying machine helicopter?
Yeah.
Not powerful enough.
Yeah.
Hey, you don't know
I
that,
don't think
Ruby.
they can
We never
flew.
made it. I'm sure they could find a way. Though it
Well,
does
yeah.
look more like a drill corkscrew than a helicopter at that point.
Well, you do have what should I call it? Vilnius. I've not met Vilnius. Yeah. What was I
I
about to
think you
say?
mean sneaks Nightwolf, not sinks up behind.
But as for what era the comic itself is set in, it's probably, I don't know, like modern or something. Because you have the tourists, which have like cameras and so on. Modern tourists. And also, you do get helicopters in this game. So the helicopters in this are cavalry class units. So they upgrade from cavalry.
I do have to wonder, how do they stop leaks from affecting the painting in the Sistine Chapel? Like, they have to have some really good leak protection.
Probably, maybe. I don't know.
No, I mean the roof, the exterior.
Oh, okay. That's a stave church.
Oh god, this is gonna be a thing. Good luck.
Now you only have to do like one top portion or layer of it. This is essentially sort of like any wooden church building.
Okay.
Like that, this one's probably easier. You can see it here as well. What continent is that on? Yay! It's my continent, so I get to beat it up easier. I've denounced Gilgamesh. Peter. I like Peter. He looks cool. I like his coat. Apparently he likes me as well. All is quiet on the Western Front.
I hope that someday I can get a game that combines Empire Total War with Europa Universalis and Civilization.
So this is annoying because I'm going to go to war with probably the most overpowered early game war faction there is. Oh, and because I actually denounced them because I don't want a big warmongering penalty, they've actually brought units over. That's great. See, some people say the AI in this is stupid. Is this a hill and a forest? No. Let me go to that one. Oh, he's actually got 3 wall cuts over here now, so that's going to be even harder to try and take. Oh, he actually noticed. I'm not surprised he noticed, but
Hmm.
sounds a little bit evil. No, it's not going to go well for my archers. Or anyone for that matter. Oh, especially not this one. That unit needs to run back. Surprised I've not found a single natural wonder yet. Not even one of the crap ones. Is that a word that I should have said? I don't think I should have said that word. Yeah. Retreat.
Looks like the church is starting to come together.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I've seen you somewhere before, but I don't know where I would have seen you.
Not me.
Yes.
The last Civ 6 comic page that Ruby did for me.
Yeah, but I don't know if you were on the call
I
with
was.
that.
Ruby said that if he ever needed a stereotypical British voice over for like a nature documentary, then he will come and find me.
But what about Adam? We've all heard Adam recently.
That was way before we heard Adam.
So who's more stereotypical British then, now that you had the comparison?
I said Adam sounded borderline Scottish.
They do nature documentaries too, though.
They're not as well known
Never
for
heard one.
nature documentaries in Scotland. I think if I ever heard a Scotsman try and do a nature documentary, it'll probably be in a style of a nature documentary, but mostly picking on the British or the English, I should say. I can imagine that being a thing. Yay! I got a free city. Oh, one thing I should mention, no. Nicholas in the comic isn't wearing his helmet, by the way.
Gotcha. I figured that.
Ooh, everyone wants open borders with me. I hit the wrong button earlier. I certainly pillaged a road that I shouldn't have pillaged.
This is certainly going to be the most interesting commission I've done for perspective composition.
Why is that?
There's a lot. There's a lot I need to fit into single frames panels.
Yeah. I'm very sorry about that.
It's good practice.
Ruby, how many commissions do you have to go before Corbin's comic?
This is the last one before I do Corbin's comic.
What's Corbin's comic? It's just a continuation of the last one he did.
I don't know. It's definitely with his story.
With Vulcan, Blaziken, and Luke Lucario.
Yep.
No, I'm not declaring peace. Yes, I want that free settler. Oh yeah, another good thing about Civ 6 is in Civ 5, when you capture a settler, it turns into a worker. In Civ 6, when you capture a settler, it remains a settler.
But you do have the ability to convert them to a worker if you want to, right?
No,
Why not?
because I don't see why you would want to convert them to a worker, because that's a free settler. Also, one of the mechanics in this is, so in Civ 5, your city does not grow, it doesn't gain any population when you're building a settler. In this, it does, but once you've built a settler in a city, it will decrease by 1 population. So that's why you want to steal settlers, because you don't have to give up population and production.
But that way made more logical sense in the sense of trading one for the other. You're trading a part of your population to become a new settler, but if they're already a settler of somebody else's, then I guess it is also a thing, but like that's like saying, okay, person that I just kidnapped that is also an explorer, now you're going to do exploring and settling for us. I mean, does that really work? Why not? Why would they listen to you? I mean, I'm just thinking outside of the logic of the way the game rules work. But
Yeah, I don't understand that exactly either, but in a game sense, it makes sense, but in a moral sense, it doesn't. Either way, it's one of my most favorite things to do in the early game is to go and steal other people's settlers, because if you in the ancient era, you have no warmongering penalty if you declare war. In the classical era, you have a light warmongering penalty, and then the medieval gets harsher, and then harsher, and then is egregious in the information era. So for such a small warmongering penalty, you can steal a settler, and it's pretty cool. Not cool. It's not really cool for the person you stole it from, but like I like it because I'm careful with my settlers. No, give me a free settler, and then I will declare peace with you. There you are. Stop running away. I'll come back here. Also, the movement mechanics in this has changed from Civ 5. So in Civ 5, where if you didn't have a, if you actually no, what you always want to do is move from onto a flat tile and then move onto a hill or forest tile as your last movement, because you were able to sort of go to any tile once you had one movement point left. In this, if you don't have enough movement to get into a forest or onto a hill, because you've used up all of your other movement, you can't finish that movement.
But
So
does
for
it
instance,
have wall running? That's the question.
I don't think so. Oh, that reminds me, Sonic Forces comes out next week, isn't it?
Indeed. November
Apparently,
7th.
Oh my god, so much is happening on November 7th for me.
apparently, in the demo, the Japanese demo, they leaked practically the entire game because all they did with the demo was just put like a time lock or something on it.
Oh my god, Sonic Team.
Well, no, because like
Ruby,
Pokemon did that.
what
as well.
did I say? What did the players didn't even have to hack it, apparently.
Well, it's just like the Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire demo, and the Sun and Moon demo is the entire game is there in the demo, just slightly stripped back, but you can pretty much see all of the things that you shouldn't be able to see in terms of like story and so on.
So as a result, the entire game has been spoiled.
Yeah, people know what the final boss is and everything.
I don't, because I've actually been a good boy in avoiding that.
I've even avoided all of the trailers. So I don't know anything about it. I know there's Sonic, modern Sonic, classic Sonic, and their custom character, and that's all I know.
I
That's all I
don't
want to
know
know.
what the ending boss is either, so I have also been good.
City here. I want that settler. You can sell there, can't you? Yeah, you can. Oh, good. Now I've got you cornered, provided you don't embark. You're mine.
お前はもう死んでいる。
I don't speak Japanese, so I have no idea what you just said. I found a hammer. Seriously not found a natural wonder yet. Okay. Yay, I'm at peace with Gilgamesh. And I got a free settler and a city. And now I've got barbarians bullying me. Shall I build the pyramids? Cool. I found a natural wonder, finally. The Dead Sea.
Okay, this is the rough outline and sketch for everything, just laying out the shot composition and character positions. The third panel, I had Avery in a sort of side screen because it was hard to have Robin and the Sistine Chapel ceiling and the roof in view while also having Avery in view, so I instead went with the side
Nicholas.
screen. Well, Robin on top of the
Yeah. No, you kept
roof,
saying
and then
Avery when it's
Nicholas in the shot. So how does that rough outline look to you? I'm gonna clean up the sketches.
Yeah, that looks fine. That's great. Getting to see how would sort of actually no, I see what you're gonna do with panel 2. In sort of my mind, I was sort of like imagining sort of cracks or something appearing in the background. But yeah, that works fine. What are you gonna do?
I can I can move the camera down and tilt it up a bit to show the ceiling a little bit.
No, it's fine. I find it funny how you sort of like call it a camera when it's like not. You call it a camera if it's like a movie.
I don't know what else to call it. Reference point for the
Viewer?
for the viewpoint for the space in which I'm depicting.
The viewer's perspective. Viewer origin. For a good point.
Okay, well, I'm gonna take a little break though because I'm hungry, so I will be back in 10 minutes.
Okay. Yeah, if people want to see an amazing person be very amazing at Civilization 6, you can hop over to my Twitch channel while you wait. It's at www.twitch.tv/AvianBritish. I'm currently playing as America.
I should get food too, but I don't want to get up.
Well, what about ordering food?
I'd still have to get up to go to the door, wouldn't I?
I don't know. I heard that Amazon have started like doing some sort of Amazon key thing where you can like remotely open the door to Amazon deliveries and so on. Sure
That would open your house to hacker vulnerabilities. I cannot picture that being a good thing.
You told Amazon that.
I will. I'll send Amazon a message on the corporate chain. Maybe write a letter. You know, people rarely do that nowadays. They wouldn't be expecting that. Raymond is punning again. Help. Help. Help everybody.
Oh, I've actually got someone in the chat room. My channel. Apparently my comments are awesome. I'm not quite sure what my comments are. Okay. and St. Petersburg. And now Gilgamesh has denounced me. Philadelphia.
Well, I would say that currently nothing is being drawn right now, but what was previously being drawn was Civilization 6 stuffs, as was at the start of the stream, Mr. Extreme Nicario. Also, Corbin, it's okay.
No, it's not okay, Corbin. I don't know, what was Corbin saying? I just said no, it's not.
he said that he just got up and there's still a house guest there, so he's gonna join when he can.
No, that's not okay. Medieval era.